This meeting is being live streamed.
That means we're live.
I
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Happy Felon Friday. As you can see, I'm here live with Jessika from season 3 of Love During Lockup. Season 3, or is it season 2? I don't even remember.
I think it was season 2. It's
season
really hard
2.
to find people. Yeah.
Yes, season 2 of Love During Lockup. And last night, her Where Are They Now update aired.
Yes.
And we are going to get into it. So, hi, Jessika. Thank you for joining me. I've been waiting for this.
Yes,
I've been
waiting. You have been patiently waiting.
Yes. Patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. And I've been
honey,
waiting.
I'm always worth the wait.
Yes, you are. You are worth the wait, honey. So, how are you tonight, girl? Happy Felon Friday, first of all.
Yes, very good Felon Friday. I'm good. I'm very good because I do not have a felon.
Yes, you do not have a felon.
Yes.
And I just want to say you look beautiful.
Thank you.
The tits look beautiful. Frat girl with tits. Frat girl with tits.
I'll save it for the end.
Yes, yes. So, my first question for you is, I want to know what made you think it was a great idea to sign up for this show and to put yourself out there like this before knowing what was going to happen, just to put your relationship out there. What made you think that this was going to be a great idea?
Actually, I signed up for the show because he was getting his ass beat in a prison. He was in the box.
Okay.
He was getting air trays, which I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's when you get trays of nothing. The guards were beating him in the shower. I mean, it's DOC. It happens. So I told him, look, I will do whatever I have to do to keep you safe. Because at that point, I mean, we were really good friends. I did, like, he jail talked me. He jail talked me to the extreme. So that's why I went on the show. So after the show, we started to get like the contracts going through, and he had to sign things. And then the prison he was at, they were like, oh shit, they're gonna know. So he was transferred. He was transferred to another prison. And I mean, I was like, hey, saved your life. Now I wish I wouldn't have. But
how did your friendship start off with him?
Just at
like
the
how, like how did you meet him? Like, let's go back to the beginning.
So I worked in corrections for 13 years, and I was working at a local jail. Never in my life have I ever been attracted to an inmate, ever. My whole entire career, because it's just the biggest no-no. You're like, I don't know what it was about him other than my poor choice in men.
What was going on during your life at that time? Were you recently divorced?
Right. I was right at the tail end of a divorce. My second ex-husband, God bless him. I mean, I do love him. He's a great guy now. We had a lot of it was a bad end. We were together 7 years, and there was a bartender that was involved, who I loathe, and I hope she sees this. And it was done. There was no fixing what had happened between us in our relationship.
Right.
And I felt that dating an inmate, he was incarcerated, so he couldn't cheat on me unless he dropped the soap in the shower. I felt it was a safe thing. I felt that this man, okay, why would this man not love me? Why would he not care for me? I'm giving him everything. I'm providing everything. I'm successful. You know, I'm literally giving him the life of anybody's dreams to come out to.
Right.
That's how it all kind of started. And that's what kind of sucked me in, is that I thought that I was in a safe place. I've been married to a very, very wealthy entrepreneur. My kid's dad, love him. We're very, very good friends now. I've been married to a fireman who we're friends now again. Great guy. We had some issues. And then I just scraped the bottom of the barrel and I said, you know what? Let me go for an inmate.
So
it-
you're working in the correctional facility.
yes,
You lay your eyes on Dustin. You guys strike up a friendship.
we do. We do. And then he puts in a lot of medical reasons to come down to see me.
Okay.
And he also would go, he would try to go to different blocks that had diabetics, because when you're diabetic, the nurses have to come there 3 or 4 times during a shift. So he would get really excited when there was like a diabetic in the block. And at that point, it was just flirtatious. And like I said, I had never been attracted to an inmate ever. There was something about him. Probably my stupidity at the time, and just my wanting and need for somebody to want me, to love me, to say all those things that a woman wants to hear.
Okay, so how long were you guys talking? How long was this relationship going on before you decided you were going to sign up for the show and put it all out
Oh
there?
gosh. So I had left corrections at the facility. I went to another, type of nursing, and I had messaged him on the jail messaging. Well, when they saw my name, they immediately blocked me. I've been banned forever from that facility, which, okay, whatever. It was hard. His mom was even banned at one point because his mom would make 3-way calls with me so I could talk to him. That was before the point of his mom and sister telling me, like, look, honey, run
Right.
so far.
Right. And we're going to get into that.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah.
And then I left corrections, and then I messaged that literally as soon as I was out of corrections, my time was done, my employment was over, I messaged him right away. I mean, it's to the point that I still get job offers from correctional facilities. So I was a good nurse. I just made a bad decision personally.
Okay. So then you guys do the show. And what did he think of the show initially? Did he like the idea of the show?
I don't think that, because he's been incarcerated his entire life almost, I don't think he realized or grasped the meaning of it. And I didn't either. When I look back now, and you don't realize what you're doing when you're filming. And then you're like, oh my gosh, my entire, all my dramas on TV, my bad decisions, my life, my everything. You don't realize when you're doing it, the impact it's going to have. And he had no idea of the impact at all. It was just, I was funding his happiness in prison. And, he had a girl that supported his prison life, I guess you could say.
So how did you feel about the social media feedback during your season? Did you see comments?
My gosh. There are so many cruel people. And my daughter, I just finally told her, I said, look, honey, just don't look. Because there's so many things that people don't see or don't know.
Which we're going to get into that.
Yes.
Yes.
And, it was very, very emotional, because I'm thinking these people don't know me. They don't know my life history. They don't know what's happened. It's a small bit. And for them to judge me and portray and say these awful, nasty things. I mean, people acted like I left my daughter on the side of the road with $2. I mean, that's not what happened. Her father's very, very wealthy. We had already discussed her going to live with her father because she was graduating early, and I was going to do what I was going to do, and he knew, I knew it was not going to last, but let me spread my wings. Let me spread my wings and just dive into like an oil.
Right. And I mean, at the time you thought it was going to last, but
gosh, yes. I was so naive. So
you had the blinders on.
It's so weird. It's like, it's almost the whole time was surreal. I look back and I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, what was I doing? And I don't know if I was just because I wanted to feel that love. I wanted everything that he said what he was going to do. From the dirty messages to the phone calls to I'm going to love you and support you, and you're the best thing, ever. And it was all just complete bullshit. Complete bullshit. But it's what every woman wants to hear. And no woman can tell me they don't want to hear that.
Exactly. That is so, yep.
Yeah.
You're right about that. Your daughter, on the show, was not happy with you. Now, was that a accurate portrayal? Or was
Yeah,
that okay?
she still has some anger towards the entire thing just because I don't welcome people into my life. And I welcomed him into our life. And what he did to me and the harm he did and the love that my kids have for me, for each other, it was very, very hard seeing mom hurt so bad, harmed so bad. My older daughter, people don't realize I actually have two daughters. My older daughter, her and her friends actually had a bet of when I was going to come back. Yeah. So
They had a whole betting pool going on.
they did.
Oh my God.
And when I called, they were like, "Oh God, you're coming back already?" Because people were like, stay another week, and I'm going to win, the bet. So yeah, my kids knew, I knew in my heart, but I felt like I was in too deep. And I'm so dead set on changing somebody and fulfilling everything. I don't like to lose.
You had the Captain Save-A-Ho syndrome.
Save a meth hoe syndrome.
You thought you could save them. You
Yes.
had the Captain Save-A-Ho blinders on, and you were going to fix them, and that's it.
Yes, absolutely. I didn't care what anybody said. Even like during the show, like the comments of everything, I was so blinded by what I really wanted. So.
Okay, so he
Live and
comes out
learn.
shortly before Christmas, right?
Yes, he got out 14.
Okay, and you guys were happy. I saw the pictures.
Yeah. I found out after the fact, it was 72 hours post him getting out of prison that he started doing meth again.
Wow.
Yes. I did not know because obviously I have a job I have to go to. And it was crazy because from December 14th to January 9th, we were in Jacksonville still. And one night we're sitting there and he's like grinding his teeth and I'm a nurse. Okay. I've worked in corrections for God knows how long. I know what detoxing and drugs look like. And he's grinding his teeth. And I said, "Did you do drugs?" And he just loses it on me. "Why the hell would I do drugs?" I said, "Well, he's like, why can't I just be happy for my life?" I said, "Well, when I'm happy, I don't grind my teeth." And his family knew too. We took videos, some were posted. We chatted with his family and they knew he had already started using again. And I had a separate conversation with his family and they were like, he's using. And I did not want to accept it at all. I did not want to accept it. I gave him every benefit of the doubt, every benefit. We left Jacksonville January 9th for Tennessee. And it was hard just leaving and going out of this game. I knew it wasn't going to work. It was.
And at this point you have bought the house, right?
Yes. Because you can't have a dog and a felon most places you rent.
Right, exactly. And you weren't giving up your dog and you were not giving up your felon at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
So you bought the house and you were in deep at this point. You had gotten, and you guys had gotten matching tattoos. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Yours is covered up. Right, exactly. He still has your name. But so you're in deep.
Yes.
You leave Florida, you go to Tennessee, and you're there for about a month or so.
Maybe not even a whole month.
And things implode.
Oh, like a bomb. I mean, it was insane. And from the moment I got there, it never felt okay. Just that gut that something is just not right. It's not going to be okay. I can't explain it, but in my heart, I knew I wanted it so bad, but yet my gut told me this is not going to work out.
Did you have any contact with his family when you guys were in Tennessee for that short period?
Yes, because that's when we moved there. His family actually lives in Tennessee now, even though he's from here in Florida. born and raised. His family moved to Tennessee. And that's where his mom, his sister, you know, his stepsisters, they all live in Tennessee now.
Right.
So that's where we moved there, because I thought it would be, you know, surrounded by family and support. I did not realize that I was bringing him back into a meth haven. And after talking to people that live in Tennessee, the town that he was from was Shelbyville, and it's actually called Methville.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So you guys arrive in Tennessee, and then that fateful day in February, in case people missed the Where Are They Now last night. Do you want to get into it a little bit?
Sure.
And tell everybody how
what's the worst that can happen, Mary?
Exactly, that this imploded.
It just, there were so many things. I had called this girl's name on his phone one night. You know, I had purchased a motorcycle for him, because let's, you know, have a hobby and let's not do meth. And I had called this girl on his phone, and I told him, I said, remove it now. I don't know who she is. Remove it now. And he, oh yeah, she's just a friend, you know, nothing big. And he started a job. He actually had a job for a whole week, which was, I guess, an accomplishment. He's never had a job. At one point, I picked him up from work, and going through the lunch bag, there was a needle in the front of the bag. And I said, I'm like, well, either you're doing meth or diabetic. Either way, I need an explanation. He literally lost his mind. The next day, he was so extreme. He had a guy come out from the place he worked and said, hey, I'm really sorry, I'm diabetic. And I put that in his lunch bag.
Wow.
I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. And it escalated more and more.
I wonder how much he paid the guy.
He probably paid him in meth. And then I found out, though, the little meth whore was working with him there. And this was a girl that I guess had come up before when he lived in Shelbyville. She's caused a lot of problems in his life. And I guess she's just like something that keeps reoccurring. I knew something was not okay. I went to work, and
this particular day,
yes,
February
8th.
February 8th.
Oh yeah, my birthday was February 3rd, which was one of the most god awful days of my life, because he didn't come home. He stopped coming home. He just would make up every excuse. And I knew he was doing meth. I knew he was. I would even, because I'm a nurse, because he injects meth, I would rub my hand up and down his arm, and I could actually feel on his veins where he had injected. And he knew, and he would pull away. And I wouldn't say anything, but I knew. I knew what he was doing. I came home on a lunch break. I just had this gut feeling something wasn't right. I pull up, there was another car in the driveway, obviously a female's, because there's flowers in the, you know, whatever,
Right.
hanging from the mirror. I busted in the house. The dogs are locked up. I take a left to the bedroom. I walk in. He's laying on one side. The girl's literally on my side of the bed, laying down on her phone. She looks at me like I'm crazy. And it was like I think I was in such shock. I didn't know what to do. He's laying there half methed out. And I'm like, get the out of my, you
can curse. Don't worry. You can say whatever the fuck you want. You're like, bitch, get the fuck out of my house, you
fucking dirty bitch. And then I realized from seeing her face, it was the same face I saw on the phone a couple of days before. He jumps up. He goes, I've got my pants on. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Like, this bitch is on my side of the bed in my house.
Exactly.
Get the fuck out.
Still sitting there, like looking at me like I'm crazy. And he jumps on top of the bed. We're arguing, fighting, you know, he jumps at me. We go round and round. He ends up choking me. He throws me on the bed, chokes me with his right hand. He pulls his left hand back and says, this is where
they didn't cover all this on the Where Are They Now?
No, it's too much. And because there's open warrants right now still, because he's in Florida and his warrants are in Tennessee.
Right.
So and he reared his arm back, and he said, "This is where the violence starts." And of course, me, I'm like, let's go. I mean, I was willing to take it. And for whatever reason, he got off of me and pushed me and said, "You dumb bitch, get the fuck out of my face." And from there, we argued in the living room. And I'm like, "Don't you leave with that meth whore. Don't take my truck." And I went back to work because I didn't know what else to do. I was just dumbfounded. And the meth whore is still sitting in the driveway. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me right now. So I go to work, and God bless them. They probably think I'm a nutcase. I'm like, "I just found my boyfriend in the bed with a meth whore, and I gotta go." And I called his mom and his sister, and they were like, I told them what happened. They said, "Call the cops now. He's going to harm you. Call the cops now." And from that point, they started on my truck. I had a tracker. They started pinging him. And the funny thing, he called me and he was like, "You dumb fucking whore, you stupid bitch." It was insanity.
How did that make you feel when his mother and sister were like, "He's gonna harm you"?
I was like, oh, wow. Like, this is for real, because
Like,
I'm pretty tough. I
right.
can take it. I've
Is
been through a
that
lot.
when it struck you? Like when his own mom and
Yes.
sister were like, "He's gonna
Yes.
harm you"? Yeah.
Yes.
That's
And
yeah, because I'm pretty tough too. But if
yeah,
someone's mom and sister is like, "He's gonna hurt you," I would be
right.
pretty fucking scared.
And because he was so methed out and just sporadic, and his behavior was so crazy, I was thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I'm going to die today. And that was actually one of the fears of my kid's dad. He was afraid that either he would get a call that I was dead, or he would get a call that for some reason, Dustin had talked me into using drugs, which that would never happen. It was so scary. And like I said, I've been through a lot, but that was very, very scary.
So the cops start pinging your truck.
Well, yes.
So he starts calling you, "You dumb bitch."
Yes. And the meth whore, they were like, "Well, is this the girl?" And I'm like, they're showing me a picture, and it was like I said, "Well, yeah, that's her, but it's very filtered." And they said, no, we know what she really looks like that meth, just like the scabs and the just nastiness. It's so sickening. So they started he threw his phone out the window, so they couldn't track that. He wrecked the car or truck, got out of the truck, was on foot. The meth whore, I guess, picked him up. Being that they knew who she was, and she was a known trashy person, they started pinging her phone.
Okay.
It took 8 hours to actually find him. They had to call in a special like forces or something, because he was known as a violent felon because of his past charges. They finally find him and her, and they arrest them. And the rest is history. I was already back to Jacksonville at that point. I packed my car, my dog, I was done. I didn't care. Literally, when they say you leave with a shirt off your back, I left with the shirt off my back.
And then you went back to Florida.
I did.
And then unfortunately, he followed you there, didn't he?
Yes. He actually came with the meth whore to Florida. I mean, I have so many texts, so many calls, so many. You can't make this stuff up. And I mean, unless you're a survivor, and unless other women that have gone through this, they understand, but the normal lay person is like, that doesn't exist. That's far-fetched. No, it's real. These Hallmark, they're real. And he thought he could fix things. And it was just, I didn't want to make him mad, because I didn't know how he was going to react on meth, because his behavior was so crazy. And it was just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then finally it got to the point where he couldn't get to me. He couldn't find me at my house. And he started threatening me and my daughters. And that's where it was bad. I had to get both of my ex-husbands involved. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's one thing to threaten me, but when you threaten harm to my kids. I mean, you posted it, like,
Right.
wait till you see what happens to your daughters. Okay. I would do anything. I mean, I would give my life for my kids. So that's where I draw the line. And then, of course, he talks to one of my ex-husbands and he's like, it's the only way I can get her to call me because I make her mad. And then you don't threaten somebody's kids. It's one thing to call me a bitch and harass me, but no, not my
And
children.
that's not even acceptable, to call you
No.
a bitch and to harass
Well, yeah,
you.
yeah. I've never been called such horrible, heinous things until he got out of prison. I mean, believe me, I am not a walk in the park. I can be crazy. I can be a bitch, but the intensity and the anger he had towards me was just unbelievable for no reason.
And now, do you think it's because of the drugs?
I do. I think that the majority of it is the drugs. But I think some of it is because he's a product of the system. He's had a rotating door of in and out, in and out, in and out. And his family is so sweet. They're so nice. And it still breaks my heart. It still breaks my heart that he is the way he is. And
what does his family say about this? Like about the incident with you?
Oh, I mean, they're not surprised. It was kind of like, well, we told you, but me being a normal, you can't even think about how bad it's going to be. You can't. And maybe because I don't think people are that evil, but it was bad. I mean, it was like when he was on top of me, choking me and pulling his fist back, the look in his eye was nothing. There was no soul. And like I said, I was willing to take it. Like, you know what? Go ahead, punch me. I had no choice. It was very scary. And for somebody who's never experienced a drugs like that, it's unbelievable. It really is. It's sad. Very sad. And he even says, it was the drugs. Okay, it doesn't matter. You chose those drugs. You chose to act crazy like that. You chose the text you sent. You chose the phone calls. Drugged or not, you chose that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
So, do we want to tell the fans his current status right now?
Well, I mean, as of today, it could change tomorrow. His current status, I believe, is arrested in Nassau County. There's a warrant out for his arrest in another county. Well, I don't know if that's Tennessee, where he has all the charges against me, which he has other charges too, beyond me, that happened in a matter of like 2 weeks. He has drug charges. He has, I think, it's insane. He has drug charges with the meth whore.
Right. Wasn't he a suspect in the carjacking?
Yes, yes. And people say me, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, how can you do so much damage in such short amount of time? So since moving here, I mean, you've seen, like, he has burned every bridge there is. And I don't know if his warrant is out for threatening the harm to my children. Or if it's something else. He could have done something else to somebody else, because in Tennessee, not only are there warrants for me and warrants for the drugs, I was told he has a warrant out in like some other random place for, I don't know what he did. It's just, it's so much.
Unbelievable.
It's so much.
So how have you been coping with all this trauma?
I've been drinking a lot. No, I'm kidding.
Drowning myself in a bottle.
Yeah. No, I've been very, very fortunate and blessed. I was surrounded by such a good friend group. And honestly, my kid's dad, very, very supportive, like, hey, you're really screwed up, but I'm not gonna, turn my back.
Right. I'm not gonna hold it against you too much.
Right. Yeah. And even, I was very blessed. Even work. I mean, they knew I was gonna come back. I've been very, and maybe because I am a very caring person, and maybe the karma came back to me as far as, my friends.
Right.
They were, hey, you screwed up, but come back. We still love you, but we're going to go through all the menu dates.
Yes, exactly. Yes, we go through all the menu dates. Yes.
And really, there haven't even been maybe not even a handful, but the ones I have gone on, oh my God, Mary, dating apps are, oh my God, they're awful.
We're going to talk about your dating life in a minute. So how have your kids been dealing with the trauma?
They've been doing okay. They've been doing good. Very fearful at the time of when, the threats were coming through and angry at me. And I accept that. I accept that I made some very bad judgments, very bad decisions, but we forgive and forget. We are very supportive of each other, a great family knit as far as my kids, even, both of my ex-husbands, we have each other's backs. No matter what you do, it may not be the best thing, may not be the smartest thing, but, come home.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the sad thing is that my own internal family, not my brothers are great. My dad's great, but my mom and my sister, not supportive at all. Turn their back to the point that my first ex-husband told them they were pieces of shit for not.
Really?
Yeah. He's like, obviously she's going through something. She's not using her best judgment, and you're going to turn your back on her. So yeah, it was very eye-opening, but one of my brothers hasn't spoke to my mom or sister for years either, because of similar type of just the way they treat people, the way they talk. It's blood is not thicker than water in my family.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean. Girl, I know what you mean. Talking about blood, let's talk about the tattoo cover-up situation. Let's see the cover-up on your arm.
Okay, this one?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Remember, it used to say Dustin right there.
Okay.
Right. I mean, and then I didn't realize there was a little skull in it, and I just say, well, it's because he's dead. He's dead to me.
There you go. Now let's see the major one. What you can show. What you can show.
Sunday, this coming Sunday, I'm getting more ink. It's so much to cover though. He doesn't want it to look like a cover up. And like I said, a friend of mine, I worked at a tattoo shop for a while doing body piercings. I still do. And when I got it done, he was like, oh, Jess, come on. Like, why would you do that? And he's like, I got to cover up for you. I'm like, no, I'm in love. I'm not going to get it covered up. And thank God he still was adamant about, nope, I'm going to cover it up. So I obviously have the Phillips, and I ended up going with a skull and roses and vines, because there's so many. I'm sorry, this guy is, there you go. Okay.
Hello.
There's so many lettering and darkness that he has to make a lot of vines, a lot of roses. Right. He went all the way down. Like I said,
and we're going to get into that, like we talked about on our live last night.
He's going to get so upset for me, but I mean, I can show you what work is done so far. Like I said, Sunday is going to be, he's going to do a lot of work. Oh, you probably can't even see.
Here we go.
Okay.
Go back a little bit. Here we go. Perfect. So, yes.
You can still see the Phillips, but there is a skull.
Yes.
And there's roses that go around. The roses go all the way down. Okay. Which I didn't know that's not really common. Hurt like hell. But in the end result, it's, I know it's always going to be there, but it'll look more like a piece of art. And
so now it goes all the way down.
Yes.
And you have a flower on your flower.
Yes. When he was tattooing.
Which I still can't get over. You have a flower on your flower. Yes. And I want to talk about the pain level.
Oh, God, so bad. So bad. He was literally doing it because he told me, he said, hey, Jess, he's like, he didn't want a male doing your tattoo because he didn't want anybody touching below your belly button. I'm like, yeah. He goes, do you really want to cover it up? I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's go for it. I didn't realize that he was putting a flower on my flower. And like I said, a good friend of mine, very respectful. So it wasn't like anything weird. But he got down really far, and I'm like, oh my God, the man in the boat, the man in the boat. He's like, what are you talking about? The man in the boat. I'm like, Mike, don't burn him off. He was like, oh, my bad, my bad. So it was, yeah, my flower still has to be colored.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
girl.
My flower still has to be colored, which may be done Sunday, but it is what it is. I have no regrets. Like, I try to make the best out of everything. People may think I'm an idiot. You got one life. I have no regrets. How many people can sit at Thanksgiving and go, hey, Mom, remember you went on that reality show and you ruined your whole life?
Exactly,
Yes,
right?
yes, I do, honey.
Yes. So while we're talking about that reality show that you ruined your life on, is there any misconceptions?
Ruined my life. I just kind of put it. I just put
Yeah.
it out there for everybody to see.
Exactly.
Real.
You just put
It's
it all
good.
out there. Is there any misconceptions about you that you want to clear up?
Oh gosh, which one?
Let's put it out there. Come on,
Um,
girl. That's what we're
okay,
here
for
for.
For one, that I'm a bad mother. That was very harmful and hurtful to my children. I mean, anyone can tell you that I am my kid's dad will tell you I am the absolute best mother ever. I would do anything for my kids. It was portrayed that I was dropping my child off, like, in the corner. There was already plans in place. She was already staying with her dad for a while because he travels a lot and he wanted to spend some time with her. And he's like, you know what, Jess, go do whatever you got to do. I've got this. You're going to be back. So I didn't just leave her out to dry. She graduated early from college. Both of my kids are in college. It wasn't like I just dumped them. Did I make poor decisions? Absolutely. I mean, yes. But my kids and I have a very, very good relationship as to where they never lied to me. And I never lied to them. It may not be the most normal, mom and daughter relationship, but even their friends will come to me and say, I wish my mom was like you. I wish I could tell her those things. And I sleep well at night. I sleep well at night because my kids are very truthful to me. They're both wonderful. They're both in college, so I haven't done that bad of a job. Beautiful.
No, I don't think so. If they're both in college, it seemed pretty well
The
adjusted.
biggest things I would love to clear up is that I am not a bad mother. Not a bad mother. And,
Okay. Another thing I need you to clear up real quick in the comments, they're kind of confused about the man in the boat reference. I'm going to have you clear that up. We have some innocence. We have some innocence.
Oh my God, this is like edited now.
No, okay. You don't have to edit. You could.
Okay, the man in the boat is your clit. There's the man in the boat, like the little guy that sits there. That's your man in the boat.
There you go, guys. There you go, guys.
Show you my man in the boat.
No, we're not. No, you can't show it.
But that's the man in the boat. It's when you get a little bit too far to the intense part.
That's the man in the boat reference. Okay.
That is the man in the boat.
Is there any other misconceptions out there about you?
Please, let me clear them up now.
Besides you being a bad mom that pisses you off, that you want to clear up?
I really don't look. I don't look at the comments. And that's something I just decided that, you know what, I'm not going to do this. I know who I am. My friends know who I am. If you meet me, you know who I am. Talk all you want. I mean, because obviously there's drama. Drama makes more drama. It is what it is.
Exactly.
You love me or you hate me. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I am very, very good shot of whiskey.
That definitely you are. So let's talk about dating on the interwebs.
God. Horrible.
The dating apps. Come on. Okay.
Okay. So
first of all, you did that speed dating thing.
Oh,
let's talk about that.
God. That was horrible. Everybody was from like another country. It's just, I was like,
I set her up at the speed dating thing. Okay. I take responsibility for this. Okay.
You were laughing the whole time. Probably.
Yes. No, but I thought maybe you could find somebody. Okay. So tell us about the speed dating thing. Everybody was from another country.
It was you just go through all these like 3 minutes with each guy. Some of them look like Jeffrey Dahmer. Not gonna lie. There was a couple really cool guys that have like podcasts, over in the, England or wherever. I met a guy from South Carolina, and we actually talked for a little bit, conversated, and then he told me he hated tattoos.
You're like, whoops.
He's like, well, as long as you're over that tattoo phase. I'm like, you know what? I'm getting a tattoo right now just because you said that. Great guy, but just not, it wouldn't have been a fit. Guys don't ask me out, Mary. They don't. They say, some of my guy friends say that I'm intimidating.
You intimidating? No way.
When I tell you, I'm like a frat boy with tits.
Yes, you are a frat boy with tits.
That's one of the funniest things that people make fun of me for too. But I'm just like the most down to earth, real person. I mean, I can hang out with the guys, I can hang out with the girls. I'm real. I'm like a chameleon. I can fit into any situation. But gosh, yeah, I could have, oh my God, that speed dating. It was so weird. And then some guys I couldn't even understand. I'm like, what are you saying? Like, I need a translator. Like, something nasty? I don't know.
But you're going to the UK in November.
You dropped the bomb, Mary. Okay, yes. And then I did match for a little while.
Yes, you did. You did match.
I did match. So actually my second ex-husband I met on Match, which was not a bad match. It really wasn't. We had a great relationship, great friendship. It came to a point where we weren't right for each other at that point in time. I didn't think people would notice me or recognize me. So a couple people were like, oh my God, you're that girl from Love During Lockup. And I'm like, oh God, like, what have I done? Because, you first start dating somebody and you're like, you know what, let me Google them.
Right.
Okay, if somebody Googles me, I am so screwed. I'm so screwed. Yeah, I'm so screwed.
I'm laughing, yeah, because you are screwed if they Google you. You know how like we Google? No, you're screwed if they Google you.
They're like, oh my God, this girl's a train wreck. This can't be the same girl. And I
would be like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? Oh my God, and this Dustin guy, because all the articles is gonna be Jessika and Dustin.
Isn't that crazy? Some girl looks just like me. Crazy.
That's not me. No. Love After Lockup. No.
Yeah, and then I went out with a couple guys. One, he chewed with his mouth open. I can't do it.
No.
It's actually a medical. It's called misophonia. Okay. It's when you are enraged by somebody chewing with their mouth open.
You just can't deal with it.
I can't. Or being rude to like wait staff. I'm like, oh honey, can you please don't spit in my food. Spit in his. It's a common courtesy thing. Be a nice human being. Like, what you put out is what you get back. So yeah, that was awful. Then went on a couple dates with a guy, very nice guy, but he was a hardcore follower of the show.
Yes, I remembered you telling me about that, dude. Yes.
Yeah. It was fun. I mean, he's a great guy. I would love to hang out with him again, but I have such a hard time trusting or opening up. And I'm so at the point where, you know what, I don't like that. Done. I'm not going to settle for anything less now because I've always put somebody else first, and I'm not doing that anymore.
What are you looking for in a man? if you could design your ideal man, if you could custom design your ideal man,
there's no ideal man. They're all assholes with different faces. It's what are you willing to deal with? What can you tolerate? Nobody's perfect. I don't like blondes though. I mean, I put that up.
Okay, so what can you tolerate? What are you willing to tolerate?
I can tolerate a lot of shit. I don't know. I don't know until I get there. That you realize and you learn about somebody, and sometimes there's things you don't like, and there's sometimes you can overcome, you can look past them, and there's sometimes you're like, you know what, I'm out, and I'm at the point where I'm out. I'm not trying to change anybody. You can't. You can't change anyone. They are who they are. And like I said, men are mostly assholes, different faces. What are you willing to tolerate? But you know what? I'm not a walk in the park. I have flaws. I do. And I'm very upfront. I'm not perfect, but am I perfect for you? Are you perfect for me? It's got to work out. And, we'll see.
Right. And you have to be the best version of yourself. You have
Yes.
to.
And I try to be every day. And sometimes I think my best version may be too much, but I hold nothing back. What you
Right.
see is what you get.
Right, exactly.
I'm fun. People enjoy
You're,
being around me. I'm
you're a
real.
frat girl with tits.
I'm a frat girl with tits. Yeah, I got so much crap for that.
So you're gonna start selling those shirts soon, right?
Yes.
There we go. There we
So,
go.
yeah, I'm gonna start selling them. And all profits will go to a friend of mine who has stage 4 breast cancer. She was recently diagnosed out of nowhere. Single mom, 3 kids, doesn't have health insurance. Great woman, would give her the shirt off her back. So I am going to start producing and selling those, and all the profits will go towards her medical treatments. She also has a GoFundMe,
which I'm gonna drop the link
yes,
in this interview.
yes, that her daughter actually started. It's so heartbreaking. And, you hear, people like, but when it actually hits you, it's different. And if I can give anything or help her or her family, that's what life's about, is giving to others and making other people feel the love.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm like getting emotional, but like, yeah.
No, I know.
So I'm going to post her GoFundMe. Like I
Yes.
said, I couldn't imagine being a mother in that position where,
I know.
you don't have.
I know.
Yeah. So my tits are going to be used for good, Mary.
Yes, your tits are going to be used for good. So, girl, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Well, there's no more porn movies, so I'm just kidding.
Girl.
5 years from now, I still see myself in a nursing career. I love my job. I really do. I love the company I work for. The people I work with are they're wonderful from the top to the bottom. The residents and patients I have such a love for them. And most of them are.
What kind of facility do you work in right now?
It's a acute rehab and long-term facility.
Okay.
Some is like, rehabs after surgeries and hip replacements, and some is like end of life. I mean, some of these people, we are their end of life.
Right.
And it's heart-wrenching because you love these people. You're with them every day. You get to know them. It's like your own family. But if I can make a difference in somebody's life like that, if I can be that smile that they see every day, or that laugh that we can, it's just very, very rewarding. It's very rewarding. And I love it. I absolutely do.
So before I let you go, do you have a final message for the fans?
What? No.
Let's say, girl, don't get me flagged by YouTube.
I'll get you banned, Mary. Not now, anyways.
Not now, please.
No, you know what? I just thank you. Thank you all for watching, and even thank you for the haters, because it made me realize so many things, flaws or errors or things I could do better with myself. And if you're a hater, you still love me because you wouldn't post anything.
Exactly. You wouldn't
Yes.
be watching her if you didn't hate her.
But I'm going to be good 5 years from now. I have a very good feeling. I'm going to find love in a strange place, and I'm going to be happy.
You think so?
Absolutely. But not in prison. Not in prison.
Definitely not. No, girl, definitely not in prison.
Yes. Yeah.
I won't let you find it in prison. No way.
No.
That's it. No.
But there's nothing wrong with men in prison. There
No.
isn't. It's just, I'm not going that route.
And not for you. Just
No.
not for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much. I had so much
Thank
fun.
you. We're going to get together again though soon.
Yes.
Yes.
Jessika will be joining me next Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern,
Yes.
for the season finale of Love During Lockup, because she has
Absolutely.
been watching the season and she has feelings. She
I have
has a lot of feelings because she's sitting back watching these chicks and she's like, oh God, I'm getting flashbacks. Aren't you getting
I know.
flashbacks?
It's like, oh my God, that was me. Oh no, girl, no, don't do it. Don't send that money. Don't. Yeah.
Yes. So we're
Just
gonna
live and learn.
talk. So we're gonna talk about it next week. Okay.
I love you, Mary.
I love you, Jessica. Mwah.
I'll
Thank
talk to
you.
soon.
Patience is a virtue.
Yes, it is. And I have lots of it.
Yeah.
Love you,
I'll-
Mary.
Talk to you
Bye.
soon. Thank you, everybody, for